Back at it again, and Trump recently did a town hall that we have to check out and discuss. And this first clip I'm going to show you guys is from basically it has left-wing media absolutely losing their minds, and when you hear it, you'll figure out why. But it's just like, really? This is what you guys are stretching? He was joking at the end of the day. But this shows the desperation of Democrats. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button if you are new. And let's dive in.
I want to go back to this one issue, though, because the media has been focused on this and attacking you. Under no circumstances, you are promising America tonight, you would never abuse power as retribution against anybody.
Except for day one.
Except
Look,
what?
he's going crazy. Except for day one.
Meaning?
I want to close the border and I want to drill.
That's not retribution.
I'm gonna be, you know, he keeps, we love this guy. He says, you're not gonna be a dictator, are you? I said, no, other than day one. We're closing the border and we're drilling. After that, I'm not a dictator, okay?
That sounds to me like you're going back to the policies when you were president. All right,
Exactly.
take a break.
So that short clip right there has Democrats losing their minds. Oh, Trump said he's going to be a dictator. Trump's going to be a dictator. See, we told you. He's admitting to being a dictator. And I'm just like, yo, first off, he was joking. And second, he's basically saying, oh, yeah, I'm going to use some executive orders to close the border and drill so I can get these gas prices down. That's a bad thing? Excuse me. Trying to help out the American people is a terrible thing? Shows you where Democrats' loyalty really lies. It ain't with the people. Oh, why isn't this video playing now? What in the world? Goodness gracious. All right, here we go.
Welcome back to Hannity. We are broadcasting live tonight. Beautiful Davenport, Iowa. Thank you all for coming. We continue now with former President Donald Trump as we now head into the Iowa caucus season. A two-part question on Joe Biden. One is about his cognitive decline, and the second is about the Biden family syndicate, as I call it. Let's first play an RNC ad about Joe Biden. Take a look.
But the nature, not when the political coverage, that, look, some of the political players and some of the let me ask a rhetorical question. No, I won't. Anyways.
Now, I could play tape from almost every day. I think another horrible moment for him was that gaggle on Air Force One after he left Israel.
Yeah.
So my question is, what do you think about his cognitive state? And number two, the issue of Hunter Biden, Joe Biden lying to the country as a candidate and president. I never had a discussion with Hunter or my brother or anybody for that matter on foreign business deals. We know, according to Devin Archer, he was on phone calls. We know he was meeting with oligarchs like the former First Lady of Moscow at Cafe Milano. Doesn't seem to get the attention in the media that anything involving you gets. What is your reaction to both?
Well, you know, they've been after all of my numbers and facts and figures, and they found out that it was incredible. Somebody said, you must be the most honest guy in the world, because after all these years, and they saw everything, my tax returns, they saw everything, went up to the ceiling and they saw it. He is number one from your standpoint, cognitively. You like to use that word, cognitively. He's not good, but it's not for me to say. I will say this. I just saw a commercial by these lowlifes where they took me imitating him at a speech where we were all having a lot of fun. It's not really fun because we shouldn't be joking about it. I actually told Sean, you shouldn't joke about it. It's serious. We're dealing with nuclear. We're dealing with
by the way, that is
leaders.
A true story. You actually called me and said, it's not funny, because I was joking about it.
That's not funny
and
at all.
I said, I thought about it, and I said, you're right. And I said, how come you never listen to my advice?
But it's true. It's actually true, unfortunately. But, I imitated him not finding his way off a stage. It's not really that hard. You're looking around, and I walk into a wall. I say, let me see. And I do that a lot. I just sort of, at some of our rallies. And then I'll say, our real president is Barack Hussein Obama. They'll say, he doesn't know who the president is. He thinks it's Barack Hussein. No, I'm being sarcastic. So they imitate it, but they're disgraceful.
I have seen that as well. Trump thinks Obama is the president. He's lost it cognitively. He slowed down. He's not joking. He's not joking when he said that's the type of lines that they pull out whenever he says Obama is the actual president. Like, they're trying to convince their viewers that Trump is actually serious. So I'm happy Trump said that right there, to clear the air for the mainstream media that continues to try to push this narrative that, oh yeah, Trump's in decline. He thinks Obama's still the president. Which is just hilarious when you have Joe Biden in office. Like, you going after Trump for making a joke about Obama, but you don't say anything about Joe Biden? Interesting.
Well, I'll tell you what. We are dealing, and you are dealing. I got to know them all, the leaders of the world. I got to know them all, and they're at the top of their game. Some are bad people. Some are decent people. They all have one thing in common. They want what's good for their country, whether it's President Xi of China or Kim Jong-un of North Korea. You would have been, if Hillary got in, you would have been in a nuclear war. That would have been a nuclear war. Any one of them, they're all, including Macron of France. I mean, you can go to any of them. Putin. They're at the top of their game. We have somebody that was never at the top of his game. 25 years ago, he wasn't one of the light bulbs. He wasn't one of the bright ones. And I tell the story. So Ted Kennedy, believe it or not, was a friend of mine because of Palm Beach. They lived in Palm Beach at what's called the Kennedy compound. And I did him a big favor one time, and somehow he liked me. I liked him, even though we were opposite in many ways, politically certainly. And I said to him, who's the smartest guy in the Senate? And he gave me a name. I don't want to tell you because I really don't like the guy at all. Still around. I said, who's the dumbest? He said, probably Joe. I said, who's Joe? Joe Biden. It's the first time. I said, and that was it. And now I see when he's not in prime time for himself, I mean, years later, he failed on being president when he was like normal. Something is going wrong. And we can't afford it because we have a problem today. Nuclear weapons is the single biggest problem the world has. And we have people, it used to be 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, even 3 years ago, nobody would have thought about nuclear. You couldn't mention the word. Now it's being mentioned at every meeting. Every time you talk, it's being mentioned. The level of power of the nuclear weapons is incredible.
Tremendous.
Take Hiroshima or take Nagasaki, and you look, and that was many, many decades ago, and multiply that times 500. That's what a big bomb would be today, whether it's Israel or.
Yeah, now I don't know the exact difference between the old ones and the new ones, but I do know the new ones are a lot more powerful. I saw something on it once, and the weapons we have today. I mean, we're talking obliterating entire land masses at one time. Just whoosh, vanished, gone, turned to rubble. And yeah, anybody got a bunker? Y'all let me know. Hit me in the DM if you have a bunker. I'm paying you a visit, okay? Matter of fact, I might become your neighbor. So when all this stuff goes crazy, we can just go right down into the bunker, all right? I'm kind of serious, like, because, man, the power of these things, I mean, it is insane. It's crazy to even think that humans created things that are that powerful, right? Like, that devastating. That, I mean, people, leftist Democrats cry about the AR-15, the AR-15, and weapons of mass destruction, the automatic weapons. Bro, They don't know a weapon of mass destruction. What your president Joe Biden is walking us into, though, you will see some weapons of mass destruction. You'll see them right before they hit, and then you'll just be a memory. Well, maybe, depending on how many people survive, which ain't gonna be many. Might only be the politicians who, go real deep underground, We ain't gonna get into that deep conversation today. I'll save that for another day.
Really major countries. Nuclear weapons are the biggest problem we have, and we have a man that can't put two sentences together. We have a man that doesn't know he's alive.
True.
And he's backed up by the media. The biggest problem we have, the media. The media is fake. I came up with the term a long time ago, and they won't talk about it.
Yep.
Let me ask you this.
If I did
Fake
some
news.
of the things that he did, they'd reinstitute the death penalty.
Facts.
Okay? They don't want to talk about it. When he gets paid $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife, when I brought it up at a debate, and Chris Wallace was moderating. How's he doing, by the way? Not too good. Chris Wallace. Whatever happened to Chris Wallace? And I said, why is he getting $3.5 million? I want to ask him that question. And Chris Wallace interceded because Joe didn't know he was alive. And so Chris Wallace interceded, and he said, you shouldn't be asking that. And now it's a big subject, and I talked about it literally 3 years ago. But why does all this money come in from China? We took in hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs from China. We gave the farmers, by the way, $28 billion. That's why I say I'm going to win Iowa. I had my people say, please, sir, don't keep saying you're going to win Iowa. You sound so really horrible. Crass. Somebody said crass. I said, but it's true. We're going to win Iowa. I gave the farmers $28 billion, and I got it from China. Who else could do that? Who else would be able to do it? Number one, who else would think about it? I think about it because the farmers were hurt very badly by China for many years. And I asked our Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny Perdue, I said, Sonny, how much damage has been done over the past 7 years, 8 years? He came back, $28 billion. I said, I'm getting it from China, and I got it. And I told the farmers, go out and buy more land and go out and buy bigger tractors, right? You remember that? And I said, I'm going to win Iowa because nobody else is going to be able to do that.
Let me ask you, when prominent Democratic voices like Maureen Dowd and David Axelrod and Van Jones and others are so critical of Joe Biden, and of course he is struggling cognitively, I can't think of, in the last couple of months, any appearance that he has had where he wasn't either mumbling or bumbling or stumbling or having no clue where to go, where to exit. Now, my question is, do you think in 11 months he will be their candidate?
I personally don't think he makes it. Okay, I haven't said that. I'm saving it for this big town hall. I personally don't think he makes it. I think he's in bad shape physically. Do you remember when he said, I'd like to take him behind the barn? If he took me behind the barn and I went like this, I believe he'd fall over. I believe he'd fall over. But who knows? Who knows? But it was okay. And by the way, it was okay for him to say that. He said, I'd like to take him behind the... He could say that and everyone thought it was so cute. If I ever said it, they'd say, he's a dictator. He's a horrible human being. It's a whole double standard we have. And
honestly, I think Trump should come out and literally repeat some of the same exact things that Joe Biden has said. And don't tell anyone that you're doing what you're doing or why you're doing it. Just let mainstream media lose their minds. Just let them lose their minds. Say, oh, yeah, I wish I could take Joe Biden back behind the barn and, rough him up or whatever Joe Biden said. Right? Say some of these same things in the exact way that Joe Biden said it. The exact same words. Use the exact same words and just sit back and just watch the left-wing media, and Democrats go haywire. And then you come out and say, hold on, wait a second. You guys didn't say that about Joe Biden. You guys didn't say that about Maxine Waters when she said those exact same words. Here's the video. I said the exact same thing that she said. I said the exact same thing that Joe Biden said. Here's the video. Here's the quote. It's right here. You guys didn't go crazy when they said it, but all of a sudden when I say it, it's a problem. You know, so he would expose mainstream media even more than what they've already been exposed. I think that would be a great idea if he just came out and just started. Now, it can't be so blatant that it's obvious what he's doing. Like there has to be some type of strategy to it, a little bit of strategy involved there. He can't just come out and literally just repeat Joe Biden quote, a Maxine Waters quote, a Kamala quote, and Chuck Schumer quote, and this quote, and that quote, and like he can't just like do them back to back. It'd be like 2, maybe 3 quotes from these individuals that are like over the top, like the take behind the barn or the Maxine Waters go harass people, right? You guys remember when Maxine Waters said that, that sort of thing. Like maybe 2 of those, you might be able to get away with 3, but I think 3 is pushing it. It would make it a little too obvious. But yeah, I think that would be a fantastic move in my humble opinion. What do y'all think though? Let me know.
Not only in the law, but just about everything else, as you know very well. I personally don't think he makes it physically. I watched him at the beach. He wasn't able to lift a beach chair, which is meant for children to lift. You can lift it like that. And mentally, I would say he's possibly equally as bad and maybe worse, but I don't know. I will say this. He's got vicious people surrounding him around that beautiful Oval Office. There are people in that Oval Office that are evil people, bad people, smart people, young, vicious. They're communists and they're bad.
Who do you think would replace him then?
Well, I saw one person on who I actually had a very good relationship with, but I'm sure that it would end very quickly. I saw him in your debate the other night, and he's slick, but he's got no facts. He's got no facts. I thought he did well, considering...
You're talking about Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, considering that he didn't have the facts, I thought he did well. He said, we have the lowest taxes in the country. We have the cleanest streets in the country. And I'm saying, wait a minute, is he talking about the same place? So he'd certainly be one. I guess they say that Kamala would be the odds to be. Because they say if they didn't give it to her, the African-American vote, the black vote, would not go to them. And we just had a poll where I'm at 22 and 25% with the black vote. If we have that, we can call the election over.
We got to take a break.
Thank you.
All right, we'll take...
Yeah, the reason why he said we can call the election over is because there was I don't remember who exactly did it, but I remember hearing about it. There was a statistic that came out that said that if Democrats lose 20% of the black vote, statistically, they can't win. They can't win. If the black support for Democrats drops below 20% or 80%, I guess, and the 20% goes for Republicans or whatever, or 21% goes for Republicans, statistically they can't win. Which is why I believe Trump made that statement at the end where, he said he's at 22 to 25%. So if that's the case, we can call it over. I think it's because of that study or what I don't remember. If anybody remembers, let us all know in the comment section. There was something that came out a while back that stated that, if that drops below 80%, then Democrats can't win. And if they're already there, it's about to get real ugly for them. It's going to get real ugly for them. But once again, a masterclass from, Trump, not his best town hall. And I don't mean that like in terms of like he did bad or anything like that, but Sean Hannity wasn't like bombarding him with crazy questions like he has been in past interviews, in recent interviews that he's done or town halls that he's done. They've tried to get Trump in like a gotcha moment, and the way that he pulled the rope-a-dope on him and danced around those kinds of things the same way the Democrats do, or even flat out answered them, but answered them elegantly. He didn't have those kinds of moments in this town hall for obvious reasons. He wasn't being pressured too much in any of these questions. So I didn't expect it to be like this over the top, kind of situation, but he definitely did well. I'm loving this Trump 2.0. He hasn't failed thus far in any, town hall or interview that he's done thus far, and I've always touched on that, how I love what he's doing. I love the way he polished things up a little bit, and like they continually left-wing media tries to get him in a gotcha moment, and they fail every single time. And it's hilarious to watch. It's so great to watch. But as always, y'all let me know what you thought about this one in the comment section below. Like, share, comment, hit that subscribe button before you go. Peace and love. I'm out.